Nawi star Michelle Lemunya in Kenya has won an award at the Raindance Film Festival and with a newfound fame is advocating against child marriage. Also, just at the past Shanghai Film Festival, China debuted one of 100 film classics that are being restored with AI for current audiences. And also, Sir Kenneth Branagh has joined the cast of the sequel to The Devil Wears Prada. My name is Papa Otu, and this is what I'm bringing to you on the Film Mandate. Stay tuned. Okay. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Film Mandate, where I bring to you movie news, reviews, and reactions both from the African front and the international scene. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. So, delving into the very first story, a number of films competed for the Best International Feature at the Oscars, and one of such films is Nawi, a Kenyan film that debuted at the Oscars race. And this is the story that was an interview was granted the lead star of the film, and that is Michelle um, Lemunya in Kenya. And I thought I would bring up the article for us to read a little about it. So this was published in the Hollywood Reporter, and it reads, Nawi star Michelle Lemunya in Kenya thought she was auditioning for a school play, but ended up in Kenya's Oscar submission. Yeah, I think I'm having a little bit of a problem with my video, but pardon me, I'm trying to sort it out. Yeah, so let's just proceed. Nawi star Michelle Lemunya in Kenya thought she was auditioning for a school play, but ended up in Kenya's Oscar submission about child marriage. And this article was written by George Cizalai. I hope I got the name right. And it says, especially the younger generation has responded well, very well. The 15-year-old who just won a Raindance award tells CHR in an interview. They now feel more empowered. So that's her in your short. Yeah. Let me read. So now we draw Dear Feature Me, a Kenyan German coming of age drama about child marriage that was Kenya's entry for the Best International Feature Film race at the 2025 Oscars has made waves in Kenya on the film festival circuit and beyond. At a recent Beijing International Film Festival, the jury created a special jury honor to shine uh, a spotlight on it. And on Friday, the movie won two awards at the Raindance Film Festival in London, one for Best International Feature and the second for the Best Performance in a Debut Film Feature for its star Michelle Lemunya in King. The young Kenyan woman is 15 now, but was 12 when the movie was shot. Her portrayal of a young girl battling child marriage in hopes of an education and self determination has been praised for being multi layered and full of charisma. THL's George Cizalai talked to her about how she thought she was auditioning for a school play while ending up getting cast in Kenya's Oscar submission, how real life experiences in her community mirror those of her character, Nawi, wanting to empower girls and audiences, and whether she will pursue more acting opportunity. So there's a number, quite a lengthy article, but I won't read everything. Let me just read the first one and then we can proceed from there. Did you always want to become an actress, or how did you get the role in this film? As I grew up, it had never been a job that I had in mind, but I'm multi passionate. Personally, I have so many dreams and I could do anything. I didn't know it was a movie role that I was auditioning for. I just thought it was a school drama, and I signed up and tried out. Then we had a 2-week training with an acting coach in Kenya. What really inspired me and what motivated me to want to play this role was the story of this film. It was actually about these girls in my house, in my home, and it was a movie advocating for their rights. So there's no way I could say no. I had no idea what actors do or how they do it, but I was willing to try. So it is quite a lengthy article that I will leave in there for you. I'll leave the link in the description below for you to read. But this is indeed exciting news for Michelle and Kenya at large. And I would even say that it is even a great win for Africa as a whole. Why am I saying this? Because rarely do we have, I mean, we've created, there's been a couple of good movies from Africa. I would even say great movies from Africa, and most have been entered into a number of what would I say, a number of festivals and award schemes. But most often, you don't have some going to the Oscars race to compete fiercely. And this is one of such films. But my concern is not even about it being entered into the Oscars race. And congratulations to the team for winning the best narrative feature and then the best actress for the film at the Raindance Film Festival. This film is actually a very powerful feature. If you look at the imagery, the images are so powerful and very beautiful. The images are so beautifully shot. At the latter date, I will do a review of the film, even though it's past. It's been released, I think, months ago. I think the very first trailer that I saw online has been it's 9 months ago when it was released. But the Nawi film in itself speaks to some of the challenges that are faced in Africa, and then that is the issue of child marriage. And I like how intelligent the lady, the actress is, Michelle, and she spoke about how these films is transforming the perception of has shed light on the challenge of child marriage, and she expressed her desire that this film will speak massively or very powerfully to the men who perhaps are pro child marriage to change their mindset concerning this challenge of children being forced into marriages when they are not properly developed or ready even for it. So this is a very powerful film, a very poignant film that speaks for social change, and I think it is the right way to go for some of these movies that speaks to the very challenges that they are facing. In when you read the article, it also speaks more about how with the advent or with this film being made, it actually empowered a lot of women to have a voice, to want to choose a better life, to get involved in certain things than just being a wife. It doesn't mean that being a wife is bad, but for young ones coming up, they have dreams and ambitions and desires, and that they would want to at least be well prepared for marriage prior to entering into it. And this movie, from the visuals itself, is quite stunning, and it has a very powerful message that speaks or addresses this challenge that is not actually faced in Kenya alone, but some couple of countries or parts of Africa are experiencing this thing. And I like the fact that it is a film um, that speaks to some of the challenges that are faced here. And I'm excited to know that behind the scenes, it wasn't just what's it called, two Germans coming down to Kenya to shoot these films, but you also have Valentin Sheluge. I don't know what I'm pronouncing it right, but so there are three directors that, co-directors that embarked on directing this film, and two Germans, that is Kevin Schmutzler and Tobias Schmutzler, who I think they are siblings, and who co-directed with one of our own, that is Valentin Sheluge. I wish I could bring the picture up. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to bring it up. But then, yeah, so that is really exciting to have even an African also, or a native of Kenya from behind, who is behind the scene to lend authenticity to the story because she hails from that place and has seen perhaps firsthand the challenges of child marriage and the effects of it thereof. The visuals are very stunning. I would even try and leave the link to the trailer in the description below so that if you want to take a look at it, you can. But it was beautifully shot, you know, and the actors also perform, brought in their A game in terms of the performances. But you should see the performance of Michelle Lemunya in King. It's riveting. And if you care to know, this is her first time acting. This is her first time ever acting, and she thought she was being auditioned for a school play, only for her to realize that she's gonna end up in an Oscar-nominated film. So it is indeed exciting, and with her newfound passion, she has actually resolved to go into acting, and she is quite ambitious. So she's not just desiring to go into acting, but also she feels she's multi-layered and would want to multi-passionate. That's the word she uses. I want to delve into other ventures as well aside acting. But congratulations to the team for winning the best narrative feature and also the best how do I call it? The best narrative feature and the best actress for this film. So congratulations to Michelle, Valentin, and the Schmotzler brothers for winning or chalking this success. Indeed, we hope to get more of these wins for Africa and in Africa. So yeah, that is indeed exciting. A film for change, for a film for positive change in society. So moving on from this story to another, China just had the Shanghai Film Festival recently, and one of their main mission is to put to good use the AI. And what they are embarking on is to restore a number, about 100 of their classic films with AI for the modern audiences. And one of such films that was shown or debuted at the film festival is none other than A Better Tomorrow, which was shot in the 60s with Cho Yun Fat as the main or titular character. So let's take a look at this article and what the potential of AI is. So I read, this is an article published in Variety written by Neman Ramachandran. So it reads that Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and A Better Tomorrow AI-powered kung fu film plan debuts in Shanghai. And this was actually, published about 2 weeks ago that is on June 18th, 2025. And I read, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, and Jet Li may soon return to global screens in digitally resurrected form. At the 27th Shanghai International Film Festival, the China Film Foundation and partners launched two major AI-driven initiatives under the Kung Fu Film Heritage Project, a large-scale effort to restore 100 classic martial arts films using artificial intelligence, and the unveiling of a brand new animated feature, A Better Tomorrow Cyber Border, billed as the world's first fully AI produced animated feature film. So, pardon me. So, in as much as they are restoring the A Better Tomorrow film classic, they've also created the first fully animated feature with AI. Yeah. So let's read further. The restoration project aims to digitally remaster 100 landmark Kung Fu films using AI to enhance image, sound, and overall production quality while preserving the storytelling and aesthetic of the originals. Organizers described it as a long-term commitment to reviving the cultural and cinematic legacy of Chinese martial arts cinema. And also, it says that from Bruce Lee to Jackie Chan, from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon to Wolf Warrior, these films have shown the world the vitality and spirit of the Chinese people, said China Film Foundation Chair Zhang Qinlin. I hope I had it right. They are our cinematic calling cards to the world. Titles set for AI restoration include The Fist of Fury, The Big Boss, Once Upon a Time in China, and Drunken Master, among others. Kangxin Media Chair Tian Ming confirmed that 10 of the 100 films will be prioritized in the first phase of development uh, with $13.9 million allocated to support the effort. AI is the brush, but creativity is the soul, Tian said. Classic Kung Fu films embody China's spiritual backbone. We are inviting global partners to join this cultural and technological reboot. Separately, the event also featured the premiere of A Better Tomorrow Cyber Border, a futuristic, sorry, a futuristic reinterpretation of the John Woo crime classic produced with technology developed by Quantum Animation. The film was created using a full stack AI pipeline covering everything from scripting and modeling to animation and rendering. This entire animated feature was made by 30 people, said producer Zan King. AI has collapsed the barrier between creativity and execution. The production cycle has gone from years to months. Billed as the world's first fully AI produced animated feature, Cyberborder was presented as a proof of concept for the future of Chinese genre storytelling, combining martial arts, futuristic aesthetics, and new modes of production. Zhang also urged Chinese creators to move beyond traditional formats and expand IP into interactive forms such as globally competitive fighting games. Why are the world's biggest fighting games not Chinese when they all borrow Chinese moves? He asked. We need to build the next Street Fighter from our own IPs like Wong Fei Hung and Neza. Regulatory reports for both initiatives was emphasized throughout the event. A Tao of the National Radio and Television Administration's Research Center cited recent AI-related policy measures, including the 2023 interim measures for the management of generative AI services and the 2025 labeling rules for AI-generated content as essential to supporting healthy development of AI in the media sector. So AI is not a tool, it is a new infrastructure, he said. It's transforming screenwriting, effect dubbing, and distribution in short films and micro dramas. AI has already become standard. A new established industry academia research center in Shanghai will serve as a key hub for talent training and experimentation, joining similar bases in Xi'an, Wuhan, and Xiamen. National render farms in Guizhou, officials said, have cut visual effects processing time for more than 400 days to 24 hours. The launch event concluded with tributes to industry veterans, including action star Yu Rongguan, screenwriter Zhang Tan, and producer Yuan Hong, all honored as contributors to the broader project. Let me read this. And I've spent 40 years doing nothing but kung fu films. One said, if I have any strength left, I'll dedicate it to this plan. Jean Tan added, kung fu films are about growth, spirit, and dignity. With AI, we are not erasing the past, we are giving it a second wind. The launch concluded with a ceremonial activation of the AI Reboot project, linking China's earlier cinematic milestone 1905's Dingzhong Mountain with the new era of AI enhanced films. Yeah, so that's quite a lengthy article, but I thought it's worth taking a look at. And yeah, so there's been a lot of debate in this particular decade as to the impact of AI on the audiovisual industry. And we have seen the powerful effect, I mean, how powerful AI has been. And especially in recent times, last year in particular, the Hollywood, pardon me, my image keeps dropping. I don't know why. Yeah, so there's been a challenge with there's been a challenge with the, pardon me, my images are troubling me, but I don't know, I'll find a way around it. But there's been a lot of debate as to what the impact of AI will be on the film industry in particular. And on a broader scope, it looks like it would indeed cause the loss of a lot of jobs. But on also the other positive side, it has the potential, just as is being said in this article, it has sort of reduced the rendered capacity from months on end to just some few weeks, and that is the power, even sometimes even to days, and that's how powerful AI is to the production pipeline or process. So there is the added benefits of the whole what was it called, the use of AI in films. Indeed, it has positive impact. The ability of AI being used to restore even classics, which may have certain issues with it in terms of resolutions of these films, to be able to restore it into the current graded or standard is indeed a plus for the industry, because then films that perhaps may be thought of as not being redeemable can now be redeemed to a very appreciable quality with AI. So for China to embark on this, I'm sure the world at large, film industries from the world over, are paying careful attention to see whether it is really capable of restoring these films into its full, potential. And I'm sure it is, because when you take a look at some of the AI that exists now, what it's able to do is amazing. It is really amazing. And for smaller companies who cannot afford to do big budget visual effects, or visual effects, the potential to use, what's it called, AI, has now made it possible for such companies to cut down on, or even not, to be able to make do with AI where they can't afford to do with visual effects company. And it's sad, in one sense it is sad, because you would want humans or talents in this industry to keep making, honing their craft in the best possible way they can. But in the absence of not having enough money for smaller companies, perhaps they may make use of this AI as a tool to cut down their expenses. So, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, it has come to stay. And for one reason or the other, China has seen it as a potential to help aid in their industry. Maybe as industries from the world over, we need to really take a critical look as to how best we can make use of the AI positively. However, I think regardless of the existence of AI, other industries will also still maintain the traditional way of shooting films and doing films by bringing the technical expertise involved to do it without the help of AI. But I think it's something that we have to understand that regardless, it has come to stay, and it looks like China is making the best use of it in restoring these classics. As to how it's going to be regulated in the use of films, well, we are yet to find out from the world over how many industries will be willing to incorporate it fully, or maybe just willing to use it as a supplementary tool rather than it replacing the entire, what's it called, production process. But as it stands now, a better tomorrow has been reinterpreted or reimagined into a fully AI-powered animated film. So I'm sure soon enough it will be released on the digital platform for us to see how how it was realized, whether it has indeed, whether it's flawless and it's indistinguishable from fully, now I would have to say a man-made, you know, animated film. So we are yet to see what it was capable of doing, since this happens to be the first fully AI powered film. So yeah, it is indeed the capacity of the AI to restore these classics are exciting, but also on the other hand, it is quite I don't know, scary because of the potential of the loss of jobs in the industry. So we'll be looking forward to take a look at what China will be able to do with, or has been able to do with, AI in restoring the classics and also this animated film. Yeah, so moving on from there to, last but not the least, we have yeah. So moving on from there, yeah. So yeah, so The Devil Wears Prada. So yeah, so moving on from China to another exciting story. So moving on from China to another exciting story is The Devil Wears Prada, and Sir Kenneth Branagh has been added to the roster of characters of the sequel, and to the 2006 film that, you know, was shown on the silver screens, winning a lot of, good reception from both audience and critics alike. So let's read an article on in the Guardian that talks about yeah. So the Guardian, I don't know why this government. Yeah, let me see if I can. Okay, so in the Guardian, let me just refresh this. I'm having a lot of challenges today. Pardon me. Okay. Yeah, so let's read an article in The Guardian that says that The Devil Wears Prada 2, Kenneth Branagh joins cast as sequel begins filming. So British actor, director joins Meryl Streep, Annie Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci for a long-awaited follow-up to the comedy hit. So that's Meryl Streep in your shot. Yeah, so Kenneth Branagh is joining the original cast of The Devil Wears Prada for the much anticipated sequel, which begins filming this week. The actor, writer, director will play the husband of Meryl Streep's vicious fashion magazine editor, Miranda Priestley. Streep returns along with Annie Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci. News of the production was announced on the Instagram with a teaser featuring lines from the original. The sequel, again directed by David Frankel, will reportedly see Priestley dealing with the collapse of the magazine industry, now forced to build bridges with a one-time assistant, Emily Blunt, who is the head of a luxury brand and its advertising spend. Why are Meryl and I so mean to each other in every movie we do? As Blunt recently said when talking about the film, we always have beef with each other. I don't know what it is. Let's hope we remedy it. So yeah, let me just jump straight to yeah. Okay, let me just take it as it is. So Blunt will soon be seen alongside Dwayne Johnson in the fact-based UFC drama The Smashing Machine, and leading Steven Spielberg's untitled thriller out next summer. The film will mark Streep's first film role since 2021's Don't Look Up. The original 2006 comedy based on the novel by Lauren Weisberger made over $326 million at the box office and scored Streep a Best Actress nomination. Weisberger wrote a sequel novel, Revenge Wears Prada in 2013, and the film was turned into a stage musical, premiering on the West End in 2024 to middling reviews. Branagh was last seen in the Agatha Christie adaptation, A Haunting in Venice. Last year, he finished production on the psychological thriller The Last Disturbance of Madeline Hind, a film he is directing with Jodie Comer starring. The Devil Wears Prada 2 is set for release in summer 2026. Yeah. So it is indeed exciting news for the for the film audience, because The Devil Wears Prada indeed is one of the powerful films that saw stellar performances from Meryl Streep and Hathaway and Emily Blunt. And to have Kenneth Branagh join the roster, and Stanley Tucci, we can't forget Stanley Tucci, pardon me. So to have the Kenneth Branagh join this roster, it is indeed exciting. He is indeed a powerful performer, actor, director, writer. He's the real deal when it comes to filmmaking, and he's featured in a number of Shakespearean adaptations, from Othello to Henry V, of which I think he won, and he was nominated for both Best Director and also Best Actor. I don't know whether he won, but he was nominated for these category, and that's how of a powerhouse he is. So to add Kenneth Branagh to this film, I'm sure I mean, the performance alone will be very exciting to watch on screen, as he would act alongside Meryl Streep. He's starring as Meryl Streep's husband, so I'm sure the script is that good, and the story demands such a stellar performer in the shoes of Kenneth Branagh to step in to perform alongside Meryl Streep. So I'm really excited about it, because I remember really watching the Devil Wears Prada one, and I liked it so much. I liked how and going down the lane, it looks like the Devil Wears Prada has become an iconic film, influencing other films, down the line. And to have Meryl Streep coming back, reprising her role, that of Annie Hathaway and Emily Blunt and Sterling Tucci, it is indeed exciting to see how they are faring in this generation. And this about by the time it's released officially, it will be 20 years since the first one. So it will be exciting to see how the magazine back then and fashion then is, I mean, in this particular world, is adapting to the current times. And just as the synopsis read, Meryl Streep would now be going back to reconnect to Emily Blunt's character and see how I'm sure she can learn from Emily Blunt. And the fascinating aspect is that in The Devil Wears Prada, that is Madame Priestley, Meryl Streep's character is very prideful, very egotistical, and I mean, she is a queen in her own world and right. So now I'm wondering how she's gonna, you know, um, humble herself just to seek the help of her former assistant. So it will be quite exciting to see how they play off each other, and I'm sure it's even hopefully it's going to be much funnier than the first one that was released about 20 years ago. So honestly, I'll be looking forward to watching it. I can't wait to see all of them on screen. I don't even remember the number of times I've watched it, because it is quite exciting and interesting to see how uh, um, how of a perfectionist um, Meryl Streep's character is, and how upcoming die-hard, people who want to make it in life, working under such bosses, will go the extra mile in making sure they achieve what they set out to do. So it is indeed a very funny, very interesting film, very nice film. You should watch it if you haven't. But it's also a very motivational piece in the for those who want to aspire to achieve goals in certain careers and very difficult bosses. So you should take a look at this film, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. So this brings me to the end of my episode for today. Thank you for joining me for this for this particular episode. And I'd like to apologize for the constant dropping of the video. I'm trying some new technology on my system, and it looks like I need to sort out what the problem is. So pardon me for the challenges I was facing in this video, but I'll do my best to restore it to a better state prior to my next episodes. So thank you so much for joining for this episode. I'll be coming your way once again with another exciting episode of the Film Mandate. My name is Papa Otu, and see you soon. Okay.